There's a dude named Dean. He's Gen Z, and that's like his whole bit. He's on TikTok. He's debating some MAGA supporters. Let's listen.
Anyways, Ashley, what's going on? Did you vote for Trump?
Oh, I absolutely did.
Why did you vote for the worst president of your life? Why are you part of the worst political movement of your life?
Don't pull any punches.
I voted for Trump for national security.
Okay.
National security includes possibly invading Greenland with the military, starting a war with Europe, isolating ourselves from an allies, and being a Russian asset.
The point that he's making here is that Donald Trump is literally the worst person you could have possibly picked if you're thinking about national security. He is making national security significantly worse. He is very clearly a Russian asset. He's contributing to the United States' downfall on behalf of Russia. And you know what? It isn't even new. He's been a Russian asset since like the 80s. He's been saying things positive about Russia and negative about, the United States and our partners for like decades. By the way, the algorithm is hitting me hard right now, completely ignoring me. So I'd appreciate if you watch to the end of the video. Having increased watch time as a percentage and a raw number is what pushes the video further. Also check out my books, owenmorgan.com. All right, back to the video.
I voted for Trump for national security for our
You said that.
country.
Well, I don't think that possibly starting a war with Europe and isolating ourselves from allies will keep our country more secure. If anything, it puts our country at a bigger risk.
And at least, at the very least, if not like starting a war in Europe, allowing one to continue, like the Ukraine war.
To mention that revoking support for Ukraine and putting that burden on Europe increases the probability of a third world war, since they have less power, smaller militaries, and they're right on the front doorstep of Russia. So if you voted for national security, you voted incorrectly.
There is no disputing that.
Well, that's your opinion, but
No, it's not an opinion. It's not an opinion. It is a fact. If you voted for national security, Trump is factually going to make things worse, going to make the United States less secure. Okay, the dude stored classified documents like the same level of classified as our nuclear secrets. He stored them in his bathroom, okay, next to the shampoo bottles. I guess he didn't want to sit there reading the shampoo bottle if he forgets his phone or something. He's sitting there reading nuclear secrets. Really? That's not secure. What are you talking about?
for me, as a citizen of the United States, he is the best choice to protect all the citizens who live here.
Okay.
Okay, then why the f did he let violent offenders that beat up cops and drove stun guns into their necks roam free on the streets? And why does he advocate for tax policy that will make the poor poor when poverty is the root cause of most crime?
So I don't think that's true. I think that
Look, it's all opinion with this lady. It's not an opinion, okay? This is a fact.
Trump wants peace and he wants to put money back in taxpayers' pockets.
I'm so sorry, what claim did I make that was untrue? Quote me precisely.
Like, he's letting this slide, kind of ignoring the ridiculousness of what you just said so that he can pin her down on this. And I totally get that debate strategy, but she needs to be called out for this, for real. Did you hear what she just said?
I think that Trump wants peace and he...
No? What gave you that idea? The fact that he's talking about annexing Greenland or Canada or Mexico or whatever, is that what made you think that?
wants to put money back in taxpayers' pockets.
Why'd you get that idea? Who gave you that idea? He wants to put money in taxpayers' pockets. Who told you that? Where did you hear that? It's nonsense. Like, what gave you the idea in the first place? Honestly, I want to know. Why do people think this?
I'm so sorry, what claim did I make that was untrue?
You know, somebody says she's an airhead. And I agree, she likely is an airhead. But bizarrely, like 40% of the country agrees with this assessment. You know, in 1930s Germany, I wrote about this period. Was Hitler an atheist? Amazon Audible, check it out. In 1930s Germany, Nazis were despised. They were made fun of. People thought they were ridiculous. And there's one guy who was writing in his journal. He was a member of the Nazi Party in good standing, like before they took over. And he had been for a while. And after Hitler took over, he got a slightly higher up position in the party. Like, it wasn't even that high. It was just like a normal person, like a block warden or whatever. I don't even remember what he was now. He was just like a normal member of the neighborhood. And he wrote in his journal that in previous years, his family at Christmas time, they used to make fun of him and say he was an idiot for supporting this stupid. And since Hitler took over, suddenly they support him and they want to know what he thinks about stuff, and he's like a hero to them. And I thought to myself when reading that, like, it feels like they were faking it, but I don't think that's the case now. After seeing how everything is unfolding in the United States right now, there is a rightward shift, the likes of which we have never seen in this country. And it's like people you would never expect, people who had a complete polar opposite position, are now effectively on the Nazi side. Like Joe Rogan, like him or hate him, he used to be a little bit left leaning. He was centrist at the very least, and he said some stupid over the years. And he held some right-wing positions, but he supported Bernie Sanders years ago. He was reasonably left-leaning. And now look at him. He's a full-blown, if not a Nazi himself, full-blown Nazi enabler at the very least. How did that happen? It's a complete shift. I just don't know where it all came from. I don't know, like, how this all shifted so suddenly. Or Elon Musk is another example. He used to vote for Democrats long and long ago. And now he's a full-blown Nazi. Anna Kasparian used to be a prominent left-wing commentator. And I don't know if she's a Nazi now, but she's certainly far right. She's most definitely on the right. It's like that moment in Germany where everything shifted, everything changed all of a sudden, inexplicably, and nobody knows how it happened or where or when or what. I feel like that's what we're seeing right now. So all of these people that we're listening to, she probably is an airhead, but non-airheads believe these things too. It's a culture shift like they saw in 1933 in Germany. Bizarre to watch.
He wants to put money back in taxpayers' pockets.
I'm so sorry. What claim did I make that was untrue? Quote me precisely.
She has no idea.
You have no clue. Okay. I made two claims. The first claim that I made about Donald Trump was that he literally let violent offenders that beat up cops and drove stun guns into their necks out of jail to roam free on the streets. Not to mention he's a rapist felon himself.
That's not true.
Oh yeah, it is true. His name is.
It's not true. And if you want to pick apart, the crimes that's happened, what about the riots?
Thank you for the 10.
What? We're not talking about any of that. That's completely irrelevant. This is the what's the term for this? Oh yeah, it's the tu quoque fallacy, the know you fallacy, where you're saying, what about blah blah blah? What about what Biden did? I don't give a shit about any of that. Why is that relevant here? We're talking about what Trump is currently actively doing.
About the
Amara,
riots.
thank you for the $10 super chat over on YouTube, Amara. Thank you so much for the love. Hey man, I just want to clarify that is true. So he pardoned individuals of the likes of DJ Rodriguez, who was arrested following the January 6th insurrection for driving a stun gun into a cop's neck.
Super valuable to know these individual facts like this, but this is 100% accurate.
The cop then testified against him in court for violent assault. Then DJ Rodriguez pled guilty. Not to
What
mention,
about everyone Biden?
Irrelevant. Does not matter.
Pardoned? What about that?
name a violent
Because if I'm
offender
not
Biden
mistaken,
pardoned.
He's feeding into this. I think Biden probably did pardon or at least grant clemency to some people on death row. He definitely did that. I'm not sure if they were violent or what, but because he's anti-death penalty. But A, this woman has no clue. She has no idea. She couldn't possibly name one. And B, again, irrelevant. This is about Trump, not Biden.
He pardoned people who had child blank on their phones
I have no idea what she's talking about.
and computers and stuff. So what about that?
So who did he pardon? That was a violent offender or a P3DO?
I like that. P3DO. I like that. That's really good. I'm going to try to use that in the future.
It was some Chinese guy.
What was the Chinese guy's name?
Chinese guy.
Now you'll have to look it up. I don't really know Chinese names.
Well, your ass needs to look it up. You're sitting here telling us this, and she doesn't know Chinese guys' names, she says.
Now you'll have to look it up. I don't really know Chinese names all that well, but
What the
if you look on the White House, then
you don't
you'll
know
see it.
what did you just say? You don't know Chinese names that well?
I don't know his name. He's Chinese, but it's still a fact either way.
I don't think the reason you don't know his name was because of his nationality. I just feel like you're not that smart of a person, all things considered.
Oh, that is a sick burn. Oh, that was the end. Anyway, fascinating. That was good. I'm a big fan. I love this debate style stuff. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. The sad part is that so many Trump supporters believe this nonsense, and the numbers are growing every day. Tell me what you think.